Hey y'all, so welcome back to episode, what is this, four? Yeah, four. Episode four, where I will be talking about sibling rivalry, discussing what that is, some of my experiences, now that being a parent and not understanding how important it is especially when your children get older, to have them meaningful relationships with their siblings, to have that relationship with their siblings. So, as an adult, as a parent, as our responsibility, as a parent and our responsibility, we are responsible to make sure that our children are maintaining that support from their siblings. Yes, siblings are going to riff and raff and fight and do certain things, but as our responsibility is to nip that in the butt and make and let them know how important it is to be siblings, how important it is to know that you need your sister, your brother, wherever the case may be. It's very, 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 very important. Some of you may know what sibling rivalry is, some of you may not know what sibling rivalry is. For the ones that do not know, I'm going to break it down for you. Sibling rivalry is an intense emotion. Is an intense emotion like anger, jealousy, and insecurities within children. And if these issues aren't resolved in childhood, it can impact a child's self-esteem and emotional well-being. And yes, parents do contribute to this, to sibling rivalry. Yes, it starts with parents. And as far as favoritism, parents may favor one child over the other. That can lead to resentment, stress, and strain in siblings' relationship. Deferential treatment, stress. So when we look at these things, when we look at sibling rivalry, as I'm older, it is not talked about a lot, but it is so important and it's sad if it's not nipped in the butt when children are small. When my children go back and forth, because like I mentioned, children gonna fight, children gonna bicker, children are just not gonna get along, right? But as a parent, as the adult, as their mother, it is important that I say, hey, no, that's not right. Okay? Or no, you don't do that. That's your sister. That's your brother. You love on your sister. You love on your brother. I'm not going to have them fighting each other and laughing at it. You don't do that. You don't do that. Because now you got the other sibling feeling like it's okay to because it's kind of bullying. That's not right. So now you got the other children sibling feeling like it's okay for that behavior and it's not. It's not. It's not okay. Um, and I always pull my children to the side. I talk to them, and I always encourage them to be good to one another, no matter what. Yeah, y'all have these situations, these issues within a household, but outside of the household, y'all have each other back to the end. You have each other back to the end. I get so frustrated when I see or I hear parents just letting their kids go back and forth with each other, back and forth with each other. That's not right. That's it's just not right. Um, growing up, you know, growing up, I would hear like, oh, you used to hit your sister or whatever, whatever. But why didn't nobody stop that? Why didn't nobody say, hey, Charlotte, that's not nice to do. Don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? Or I would have, and on my platform, I keep it real. And that's just what it is. You like it, you like it, you don't. It's just what it is. Say what you want to say. You know. But growing up, you know, I have had an adult figure in my life say, "Oh, you're jealous of this one, or that one's jealous of that one, or this." That's you don't do that. You don't do that. Now that we're older, them relationships are not strong at all. Those relations, when things like that happen, now you got me either as a sister or a brother or whomever. Now you got them feeling like we're in competition, jealousy. You parents shouldn't say, well, that sibling would have never did that, or your brother would have never did that, or your sister would have never did that. Why can't you be like your sister? Why can't you be like you just don't do that. That is such a bad situation when it comes to siblings. Sorry, y'all. When it comes to siblings, you know, I seen something a few days ago that really, and I want to know why. I just try to stay off of social media, especially Facebook. Facebook is very messy. Um, but how those are our resources. This is the time that we're living in where you need social media for your resources, right? For certain resources. As much as you try to avoid it, because you're going to stumble across things that's either simply not true that you see people doing, or that's just not real. Like, this person character, who they are, so you come across things where it's just like, really, but I but social media, that's where I the times we're living in, where that's our resources. You have to, in some sort of fashion, way, shape, or form, you have to be on social media because that's our resources. This is the time that we're living in. But like I mentioned, I got off a little off topic, but like I mentioned, I got back on social media for the simple fact that, I was looking for something. I love Marketplace on Facebook. So you have to have an account to get on Marketplace. My husband has an account on Facebook, but I'm not gonna keep, you know, using his phone for things. He need his own phone. And certain times he's not here at the house where oh shoot, I need to look for something. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get back on this thing because I just need the resources. So I stumbled across something that really, and that's what I'm saying. I was doing so good, not letting things bother me. So I got on there and I seen something that really just like, what? Now it's like I had siblings where I can say where they feel like they're in competition with me in their head, which I'm not even. I love all my siblings. I love every single last one of them. But for some reason, like I said, I don't know if it was the things that was thrown by the older people in our lives or our parents, whomever, was what type of words was thrown out there. Who knows? Who knows? And that can cause resentment. That can cause, because sometimes I'm like, why are we bickering like this? Why are we going back and forth like this? Don't you know I love you? Don't you know I care about you? So what is this with between us? Like, let's nip this in the bud. What's going on? So it's definitely some sibling rivalry going on. A parent done said something, an adult done said something, where it's just causing so much riffraff, but amongst your siblings and things like that. I always feel like it's competition, animosity. It's nasty. Sibling rivalry is simply nasty. It's very, very, very nasty. It is some healthy sibling rivalry though. Um, you know, Parents teaching each other as you are kids how to share, how to compromise, how to negotiate some things. They curb the jealousy. You know what I'm saying? You always should make it clear to your children that, listen, I don't have a favorite. I love y'all all the same, and you stand on what you're saying. Your actions speak louder than words. So if you're doing one for one child, do it for all of them. It's not right. It's just not right. Um, I'm just referring back to my notes, y'all. Um, Sibling rivalry is just one of them things. Like I said, is not often talked about at all. Um, you have the families where you have the families. It be name calling going on. They joke and stuff, but it's to a certain extent when you want to joke. You understand what I'm saying? Because believe it or not, when a person is joking with you, trust me, it's some truth to that joke. So I'm so naive, y'all. I used to be so naive, so easygoing, and just let people say whatever they wanted to say to me. Not stand up for myself. Just let them say whatever. Until I got to a point where it's like, hey, now you get to a point where it's like, hey, you're not going to say that because that hurt my feelings, or you're going to pipe back up. You're going to say you're not. You want to start defending yourself. So it's like when you start defending yourself, is, oh, you're so disrespectful, or she got some nasty attitude, or da 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 da, and it's like, that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to treat each other with respect, no matter what, no matter how old or young you are. You're supposed to treat your family members with the utmost respect, period. You speak kindly or keep quiet, and you treat each other the way you want to be treated. And siblings are the people we supposed to practice on, the people who teach us about fairness and cooperation, kindness and careness, you know? Um, and it's like you gotta draw a line. When it comes to things like that, well, like this, you have to draw a line because it can get out of bounds and it can become destructive behavior, physical or verbal. I've been called on the phone. Oh, you said this or you said that. Not even calling to say, oh, what's going on? What happened? Automatically calling my phone. Oh, BITC this, BITCH this, da 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 da. Didn't even call to get the back end of the story, but I'm always the one. I'm always the one. People come running. Oh, they did this, or they said this to me, or they said that, and it's just like. But when it's a problem with me is you bitch this or that. It's unfortunate, but it does be jealousy. I hate to say it, and it be envious, and it comes from the bickering that was not stopped by the parent. That was not stopped by the parent. So many of us as adults have struggled with our siblings. We have, um, or we have children who are going to fight with each other. But the question is, does it have to be this way? Or is it something we can do about it? No, it don't have to be this way. It does not have to be this way. It doesn't. You know how lonely it is that, and I'm gonna keep saying it because it's lonely. God didn't intend for us to be lonely creatures, lonely human beings. He gave us families for a reason. He gave us families for a reason, not to be bickering back and forth with each other. Sorry, y'all. My computer be acting crazy. I was waiting for a new camera, y'all. I was waiting for my mic. It's been a while. It's been a while. I got good things going on in my life, but life be life and y'all. But what I was gonna say is that, sibling rivalry is usually a given when dealing with dysfunctional families, as a narcissistic parent will employ favoritism, forcing children into feuds and often subtly pitting them against each other. Now, who would a right mind want to do that? But it happens. It simply it happens. It definitely happens. In healthy families, we encourage our children to be loving and close to each other. Healthy, main word, you see the key word? Healthy, not dysfunctional, healthy. All that dysfunction and things like that, it definitely stems from a person's background, the narcissistic behavior, um, the 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 manipulation is crazy too. How people are so manipulative. That is a sickness to be that manipulative like that. That's the manipulation is wow. Um, in narcissistic families, children are pitted against each other and taught competition. I couldn't see me as a mother doing that to my children. I couldn't see that. There is a constant comparison of who is doing better and who is not. Some children, y'all have to excuse me. Let me tell you something. My teeth, y'all, they look good though. My braces finally came off, right? So I wear a retainer now. And a retainer, like it's like something foreign in your mouth. So the retainer had me feeling like, even if it's not in now, but when I'm talking, sometimes I feel like the retainer's still there. So y'all just bear with me, y'all. Y'all just bear with me. Even if I'm not saying nothing correctly, no, it's not me. It's literally how my mouth is feeling from the retainers. Um, there's a constant comparison of who's doing better and who is not. Oh man, that's just nasty. Some children are favored or seen as the golden child, and others become the scapegoat for their parents' projected negative feelings. Siblings in a narcissistic family rarely grow up feeling emotionally connected to each other. Keeping it real, ill, keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. No connection whatsoever with my siblings. None whatsoever. No matter the facade that we put on, it's never been if I thought it was because people think people could be competing with you up here and you don't even feel like that. So it's like they're literally competing with you by themselves because you are an individual. You could be the individual where you're not competing with them at all. But for some reason, it's like no matter how much love you show them, how much you compliment them, how much you wish them, and you really mean it from the heart, you never get that same energy back. You just don't get it back. And you always got to question yourself like, what's going on? What's up? Like, and I hate to say it, it comes from manipulation from a parent, the narcissistic abuse, all of that runs hand in hand with these relationships. So you have to be so careful of how you raising your children, what you saying to one another when they're not around. You don't never you just don't do stuff like that. Even at the tender young age that my children are at. You know, I'll my son is older, my oldest son is older, but my youngest son could come, 8 years old, he could come and say, well, mommy, uh, he did this, knowing that, deep down inside, your son, he's the oldest, but he still act like the 8 year old. You don't say, well, he don't never act this age. He don't da da da. Da. I would never say that to the 8 year old because I don't want him to feel like, oh, well, mommy's talking about him. Why can't I do it? Or mommy say little sly stuff. Why can't I do it? Even though I feel like I be wanting to say, I don't say it to him. I would never do that. So what I do is like I like tell him to come here. So I talk to them both. Listen, what is it that you didn't like that your brother just said or did to you? Or da 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 da. At the end of the day, they love on each other so hard that when they get older, they'll be able to pick, oh, my brother got me. Let me call my brother got me. My sister got me. Let me call my brother. Let me call my sister. You know what I'm saying? I don't have I no matter how the facade may be, me and my siblings are not close at all. We're just not, and it's just so unfortunate because, like I mentioned early in the video, I love my siblings dearly, and I'm not like I said, I'm not. This is not a video to bash anyone. It's just simply bringing awareness to sibling rivalry. I can sit on here all day and tell different stories. You understand what I'm saying? And I know you know who the corporate is of these relationships. You know exactly who the main culprit is. You understand what I'm saying? But like I said, this is not going to be one of them videos where my first video where I'm just exposing things way too much, so I'm not going to sit here and expose too much, but that's just not what it is. And it's simple because, like I said, the favoritism growing up, the deferential treatment growing up, the um the name calling back and forth, or you're jealous of this person is jealous of that person. Your family could sit here and say, well, she done did this. Everybody done is talking about you, don't know what's going on because you have that one person that's steering the pot. And then when you that child, when you don't need that person that's steering the pot, or you're always going to be against that person that's steering the pot. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's gonna always be against you because that person that's steering the pot, they need that person. But when you don't need that person, you always gonna be considered the one that's oh, she this, she that, she this, she that. And that's not even what it be. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you had them situations where it's just like you want to love your siblings so bad and do things, but for some reason there's and you gotta understand people love arguing and bickering. Some people just got that spirit where they just like to see dysfunction. They like to see the arguing. They like to see the bickering. You have some of them individuals who just have that spirit where they just like to keep stuff going. They just like to keep stuff going, and it's sick. I think it's a sickness to want to be that dysfunctional, that manipulative, that being a narcissistic like that. I think is literally uh It's a sickness to me. I feel like it's a sickness because ain't no way I'm gonna get a thrill out of being manipulative, malice, malicious, manipulative, and do things like that. I can't see me doing that as a parent. I don't understand. It has to be a spirit. That's a nasty spirit to have. The jealousy spirit, that's a when God created me, I think God, he did not, and I mean that. I mean that. And people that know me know my character. Never been a jealous person, and I thank God for giving me that character. I never been like that. That's a nasty trait to have. Jealousy turn into envy, and when a person is envy, they are bound to do whatever. Bound to do whatever. Bound to do whatever. And it hurts me because I have had conversation with outsiders where they be like, you and your sister are always going at it. And I'd be like, well, I don't understand why. I just don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? And I can listen, we all do things, we all say things. You understand what I'm saying? And some things come out where we don't mean for it to come out. But the thing about it is if a person says something to hurt your feelings, now I'm going into healthy communication. Now I'm going into healthy relationships. And I know how to take accountability. You understand what I'm saying? But if you know deep down inside that this if somebody came and told you something and that's just don't sit right with you, like, nah, that person wouldn't do that, or that person just don't have that characteristic. Like, that's not that person's character, right? If somebody then said something to you or said this person said that, and you know that's not their character, healthy communication would be to pick up the phone. Hey, did you say this? Or I heard that. And it's coming from the person that stirs the pot. Like, come on. Come on. When you know you got that one person in your family just like to keep stuff going, and you know deep down inside your heart that that's not the truth. But from you being envious of me and jealous of me, you're just going to side with that person because you've been waiting for so long just to go off. So it's like, the healthy communications, like you pick up the phone or you reach out to that person, hey, what's going on? Or, or what's the problem here? It's healthy communication. It's healthy relationships. You understand what I'm saying? But if you don't try so hard to try to be a sibling, and in spite of, what happened when y'all was children and now you're older, you still trying to fix this situation and it's just not happening. I hate to say it. Sometimes you just gotta let people be and let situations go. You could get so sick behind trying to figure out why people act the way that they act. I was literally getting sick. Don't make yourself sick. That's just how it is, unfortunate, but excuse me. Some families just they get a thrill out of being that way. And I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. But the sibling rivalry is just so bad. You have to be so careful as a parent, especially when your children are younger, or what you're saying to them. What you're saying to them. What are you saying behind one of the other back? You don't you don't do things like that. Your kids need each other. Your children needs each other. Don't you know siblings are the first best friends, the first friends? I just, this is one of the situations that really gets me going so bad. Um, it just, and you always got that one sibling, no matter what, no matter how bad a parent that had done did or whatever, they're gonna keep their parent reputation clean. They don't care. They just don't care. They don't care. And like I mentioned, siblings going to definitely going to get into it. But it's a healthy way you bounce back. You just don't go on through life without communicating with somebody you was raised with, or or your siblings. You just You just don't do that. Turn into such estranged relationships, very estranged. And I had in some tips. I feel like these are some helpful tips to prevent civil rivalry. You should never compare your children. You should encourage your kids to resolve their arguments themselves. Like I said, my kids are young. My oldest would be 14, but he's very wise, and it's like he said, I would never ever, mom, like when Paige get older, I would never ever, if we done said something, or I'll call and say, hey mom, me and Paige got into it, da 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 da. But I would never even expect you to sit on the phone and gossip to me about her. You don't do that. That's like my child, that's like, how frustrating it is when I get a phone call. Oh, this person done did this in the family, da 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 da. Or this, your sister done did this. And you got to sit there and say, listen, I'm in a good situation, a good spot with my sister or my brother. I don't want to hear this today. Whatever y'all got going on, call your aunt. I mean, call your sister, call another family member. But I don't want to hear that because we in a good space right now. Because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, that parent is definitely gonna go back and tell that sibling something you might not even have said. But just because they like the riff and rap that goes on along with it, they get a thrill out of it, or they're gonna keep you into some mess. They're gonna say something to make themselves not look like the victim. And people do that. They'll lie and say you done said something, and that's not even what you said, to keep themselves to look like the victim. And these are some of the things that I dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Um, you gotta another number three. Now the first one, like I said, never compare your children to each other. Do not do that. Encourage kids to resolve their arguments themselves. Going back to what I said, what my son said, I would never sit on a phone and talk about, and have my and talk about one to the other one. If anything, I'm gonna call that other one on a three-way. Okay, what's going on now? Because at the end of the day, I want us to all get along. You won't go back and say, well, mommy said that, or that person. No, we all gonna be on this phone, or we're gonna, matter of fact, we're gonna meet up. Now I'm gonna make y'all get along. Now I'm cooking dinner tonight, and I want y'all here because we're gonna work this thing out. We're not gonna do that. We're not doing this. You encourage number three, encourage siblings to empathize with each other. Number four, encourage your kids to lend a hand. Lend a hand and help their brother or sister. It's not always like this. It's not always like this. And another thing that ruffles my feathers, if it is like a I do, you do for me situation. Well, if I do this for you, what you gonna do for me? Oh my gosh, why can't it just be from the heart? But you always encourage your kids to lend a hand and help their brother or sisters. And number five, keep out of negotiations between siblings whenever possible. Don't get in between your kids' relationships. Don't do that. If it's not going to be positive and uplifting, or to make them love each other a little bit more than what they do, or love them more, don't ever get into don't ever get into they whatever they got going on, unless you're going to be the positive one to make the situation better, to make the situation better. If you're not going to do it, stay out of it. Period. Um, it's it's like the question was, do parents? My question was, do parents contribute to sibling rivalry? Absolutely, absolutely. The parents has a lot to do with sibling rivalry. Absolutely, absolutely. Do you know how hard it is? Do you know how terrible it is to have a manipulated, a narcissistic parent all in one? I just don't understand. Like I said, I'm a parent now. I don't understand how people don't how parents don't want to see their kids getting along. That's disgusting behavior. How don't you want your kids getting along? You need somebody on your side that bad that you're willing to harm the other sibling character so bad that you need them on your side so bad to make you look like it's not your fault. And then is it a problem that if you find out that your children are close and getting along, that you might actually be the problem? Because that could be that could be the problem too. A lot of parents that know they done did so bad that they don't even want their children being close because they know, oh, once they get close, they're gonna figure me out. I was the problem the whole time. This sibling rivalry is nasty behavior. It's so nasty. It's absolutely nasty. And I've always been the sibling to my siblings could call, I'm running. They could call me, say something. I always got their side. My loyalty is mean. My loyalty is beyond this world. I'm loyal. I'm a loyal person. I'm a supportive person, and it's sad when people know who you are, they know your character, but for some reason they still don't understand. So it has to be some enviness. It has to be envy. It has to be. It has to be. And if somebody done said that you done did something, why not call and get the why not even reach out or try to understand the situation to get the backstory of the situation or whatever the case may be. But like I said, I wanted to bring up civil rivalry because it's really not talked about highly at all. It's just one of them things where it's just not talked about at all. And as I'm getting older, I sit you sit and reflect. You reflect on some things, and it's just like it's like I thought we were close, but we no. This situation could have been like this situation could have been better than this, or this situation. No. Wow. You got to sit back and think. How was it growing up and things like that? But it definitely starts with the parent. It starts with the parent, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely, it does. Like I mentioned, as soon as I see my kids, we not doing that. We are not doing that. We are not doing that. We're not going to do that. Y'all need each other. Y'all need each other in this life. In this world, outside of God, y'all need each other. And God gave y'all each other. So y'all gonna work this out. It's so unfortunate, like I said, that you have uh family members where they just get a thrill out of it, you know? And then you got parents where they feel like, they separate everybody or, they separate each other and it's so like they superior. They feeling good. Divide and conquer. If I could divide them, I'm conquering. Nasty work. Bad. Bad. But like I said, this is one of them videos where, I just wanted to bring light to the situation and say how important it is, to make sure that your children have them healthy connections, have them healthy relationships because guess what? They're not getting any younger. They're getting older and they're gonna need one another. They're gonna need each other. You understand what I'm saying? And people that can agree with me gonna agree on this. But for the ones that know they're guilty, they're gonna have so much to say. And it's and that's just it's unfortunate. But like I said, this is a platform where I'm just gonna be keeping it 100. I'm gonna be keeping it real. You either like it, you don't. It's the truth. It's the God honest truth. It's the God honest truth. It's the God honest truth. And that's another reason why I really didn't fit in a lot because I'm gonna call out what I see is just wrong. If I know something's wrong, I'm gonna let you that's wrong. It don't seem right. It's times where I'll be on a phone and I have to say, listen, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this today. I'm not getting on the phone to gossip about nobody. You understand what I'm saying? And then you got the person going around, you don't know what they done lied on about, because you could be like, dang, we were just good. Me and my sibling was good. We're just good. I know me and you done had some words. Now, what you done went and told this sibling that now they not. saying nothing. They're not talking to me at all. You know what I'm saying? And I could have simply been on the phone like, hey, she was saying this, and I stood up for you. Now she coming around me, coming to tell you I done said something that's not even true for you to be on her side. So it's like it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate the narcissistic behavior and the manipulation, the master manipulation at that. Oh my gosh, Um, but I get on here and bring these topics up because I know I'm not the only one that goes to do certain things or see things that I know just, hey, that's just not right. That I'm gonna call you out on because I know it's not right. You just be like, hey, that's not right. You don't do that. You just don't do certain things. Siblings need one another. They need one another, and you got to, and you don't even have to, and some siblings, they'll be jealous simply because of how other people talk highly about you, how much love you get from other people. It's sad growing up with envy siblings and jealous siblings, and it's not even your fault. It's not your fault how God created you. This is how God created me. I can't help that. If you have a problem with it, you need to take it up with God. It's not, and I'm not going to just keep blaming it all on the parents. Sometimes children have their own way of just feeling envy and jealous. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying, as a parent, if you see that, you stop it. You talk to your children. You should not be that way to your sister or your brother. You should not have. What is these feelings that you're harboring up? Where are they stemming from? What makes you feel like your sibling is better than you? What makes it feel like your sibling is doing things that you cannot? What is the problem? But I'm not going to just keep blaming it on the parents. Sometimes, siblings grow up to just be that way, and it's unfortunate and sad. But I don't know who I'm talking to, but don't hurt yourself. Keep trying to figure out what you done did wrong. I was there. Sometimes I still struggle with that. Like, why are we not as close as we should be? What did I do wrong? Shoot, reach out and tell me, hey, you done did this, you did, so we could fix this thing. But as you sit and recalling, like, I haven't done nothing. I don't know what I've done. 9 times out of 10, that's what it is. It's either jealousy, enviness, something in between them lines, and you just can't do nothing about that. You just can't do nothing about that. You gotta let it go. And it's sad, but God hears all, he sees all, he knows your heart. He sits high, he looks low. And he know when you yearn for that relationship, he will send somebody into your life that'll fit right into that slot, that'll feel right into that relationship. That's how good he is. So don't get yourself all worked up. Don't get yourself all worked up about the situation. I just wanted to bring light to this situation because it's something that's really just not talked about at all, and it's just is a nasty stigma within families. It's such a disgusting stigma, um, and I'm glad that I'm able to recognize that and break that because it's a curse too, and I'm able to break that within my children. I would not have this between my children. Um, you know, this is something that I would not. I'm glad that my attention, God brought my attention to the situation. But this is just something that I cannot have amongst my family or within my children. Is a nasty, nasty stigma, and it's just bad. It's bad all around. So if whoever out there watching this or feel the same way, know that you know it's not your fault. Most of the times, it's not your fault. It stems from childhood, from the dysfunction in a household, the dysfunction in families, the bickering back and forth, or you're jealous of this one, that one jealous of you, this da da da. It sometimes it's not even your fault. You understand what I'm saying? But if you got to separate yourself, separate yourself, separate yourself. That's all I can say, and like I said, it hurts. It hurts. But God would definitely send them people who belong to me in your life, who's going to love you for you, is going to have the best interest at heart for you. He will bring them into your life. I've seen this guy talking about how, people could go to the store, buy bags, buy pocketbooks, buy shades, buy all these clothes, right? They could buy all these things, but they can't buy who you are. They can't buy your spirit. They can't buy your character. They can't buy your reputation. They can't buy simply your light because you shine it so bright. It's just something that you just can't help. So you just gotta pray and give it to God. Give them to God because it's some things that you can't help that God created you to have. These characteristics God created you to come with. These characteristics that God spoke over your life. Some things you just cannot help. Um, I have walked into places. I even have in it. I'm out off topic. I'm not talking about the civil rivalry no more. Now that I'm talking about how your light could shine so bright, I have been into places where, you know, matter of fact, a job I had, and so bubbly, so nice, bringing donuts for everybody, just to set the mood, just to set the atmosphere, to have a loving atmosphere. And it's just some people simply don't like how you shine. They don't, and a lot of things, everything is spiritual. You know what I'm saying? We're wrestling against spirits. Your light shines so bright that it just irritates demons so bad. These spirits that's in people. You know what I'm saying? It's places I've been where it's just like, dang, her personality is just amazing. And I can't help that. I have people told me your personality is just out of this world. Or, I even had people tell me you're so pretty and your personality, people not gonna like that. And it's just like, dang, well, I don't think like that. I don't feel like that. I treat people the way I want to be treated. I treat people the way I want to be treated. That's all, and that's all to it. If I can help you any type of way, I will. You know what I'm saying? But what we not going to do is you going to slander my character. That's something that we just ain't going to do. Because you're envious of me. You're not going to slander my character. You're just not going to do that. So you gotta stand up for yourself. I just put something up today and it makes so much sense. Now I'm just, mouthing off at the mouth. But pretty much, when someone can't compete with your character, right? They will attack your reputation. Don't let that, please don't let that go over your head. Don't let that, when someone can't compete with your character, they will do anything if it's lying, if it's whatever they can do to ruin your reputation. I mean, if they can't compete with your character, they will do whatever they can to attack your reputation. Being lied on, all types of stuff. Words being put in your mouth that wasn't even being put in your mouth. They will do whatever they can to attack your reputation. They will do whatever they can to attack your reputation. I just had to be quiet. I just I really, whoever whoever that was for, I just really want you to just think about, meditate kind of what I just said. They definitely will. They definitely will. So it's nothing to do with you. And your character is not formed in a week or a month. It's created little by little, day by day. Um, it takes patience and effort you know, to develop good character. It takes a while to develop your character. And it's simply coming from what's right, and what's wrong. You know, say whatever you want to say about my reputation. I know who I'm in as a person. You know who you are as a person. They can say whatever they want to say about your reputation. But your character is a lot. Your character is a lot. It is absolutely a lot. Um, your character is who you are, and your reputation is what who people think you are, or what people think about you. So, and that's another thing. within these dysfunctional families where it's just, it's just I don't understand how your own people don't can't stand you. You know what? I can under I can understand why. We ain't gonna get into all that, but I understand why. But it's just unfortunate how it's so unfortunate now that like I said, like I have my own kids and my own family and things like of that nature now. It's just that it's just like you get to the point, it's just like how and why, you know, how and why, how and why, and just being lied on, saying all types of stuff, and all you did was try to help these people and be there for them and stuff like that, especially your siblings. I go running at a smoking gun for them, a smoking gun for them, and they simply can't come to terms of not to like me for some reason, for some form, for some shape and form, for some reason, they just can't find it in themselves to like me, you know? But, you can't sit and ponder on it. I did that for too long, is making myself upset and sick. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I mean, God is sending the right people in your life to treat you like a brother or a sister. I'm telling you, God is good like that. But I just wanted to be able to bring awareness to this situation. If you're a parent out there, have children, please find it in your heart. Please find it in your heart. Um, not to be one of them parents where your kids are simply going against each other, or they done built a resentment against a sibling, or they have jealousy against a sibling. It's not right, and it's not fair. It's just something that's just not right. um and like I said, as a parent, and you're doing it, how, why, and what type of person are you truly, you know but like I said, y'all, I just wanted to get on here. This is episode 4, sibling rivalry. um Something that's not hardly talked about. And just being, just like I said, just be a better parent. If you feel like you have been doing it, or not even intentionally meaning to do it, just try to change some ways, because you got to understand your kids are going to get older, and they're definitely going to be one another. And then you're going to get older. We're going to get older. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get older. You're a child once. I mean, you're a child twice and an adult once. So you're going to get older. You're going to have your kids come together. Like, God forbid, I hope God keep us all till we 100 years old in our right minds. But I'm just saying, what if? You want your children to be able to come together and create the best option for you as being a good parent. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to be one of them parents now when you become a baby again and your kids is nowhere in sight to take care of you because you done did so much. You gotta be so mindful of these things. Do the right things by your children, please. Do the right things by your children, please. And remember, is a God looking, he's sitting high and he's looking low. We have to be judged and held accountable for all the things we done did, for the things we had said to hurt people. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be held accountable for all of that. And like I said, if it's a sibling out there or whatever, and you feel like your sibling has said something to you, you don't hurt something, reach out to your sibling and see what's going on. Don't do that, because people lie. You got people in the family that just like to see things going on and just like that riff and raff. No, do not go in life like don't go on in life like that. It's lonely. Do right, please. As a sibling, as a parent, just try to do the right thing. Try to live in peace and harmony. And if you simply can't just take your sibling because of whatever, just leave them alone. But don't make them your good sibling come around with the heart that they have and the character they have, and just try to ruin them because you're such upset within yourself and you going through an identity crisis yourself. Don't do that. Do not do that. But we gotta do better as parents and as siblings, and break this stigma, because this is a nasty stigma. It's a nasty stigma. It's just nasty. Um, But I love y'all, my Braveheart family. Like I said, this is sibling rivalry, and I'll see y'all on the next episode.